that's what I do. I wait for the phone to ring, and you all get to be comfortably zoned with me, the Zigzag Man, in Alameda, California. And this is a very, very special day for the old guy because I have an old friend with me from the original days of Comfortably Zoned when we were both back on the FCC Free Radio Network out of San Francisco. And she still be there. I be gone. And her name is Meredith. And I'm happy to have you. Meredith Godfrey. Love you, dear.
Well, bless your heart. Wow. Nobody's given me such a beautiful introduction ever.
No, I'm sure they've given you introductions.
Well, I got a slap on the ass when I was born.
Yes, well, and you're reborn, I know, on a regular basis if rumor has any truth to it. We're all reborn occasionally, aren't we, my dear?
Oh, absolutely. Every day, I think. Every damn day.
I gotta mention something that I only found out after you and I stopped working together, and I got to know your mom a little bit, and bless her soul, is she 86, something like that?
She is actually 92 now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And she's still going strong, and she's a Newtown High School graduate. I'm a Newtown High School graduate as well. And you guys grew up in Florida. I had no idea you were, that she goes back to Queens, New York.
Absolutely. She and my aunt were born and raised in Elmhurst. And, yeah, definitely. And very proud of that. And then I was born and raised in New Canaan, Connecticut, until we headed back down to Florida, from whence all things come, I do believe.
Well, certainly alligators.
Exactly.
and swamp animals and stuff like that, and Republicans, and it's just there is a certain charm to it, and there's certain differences, and depending on where you are in Florida and who you're with, and it has its charm, and I vacillate as to where's the best place to live on the face of the earth, and I've been back there a number of times with the idea of settling down, and always seem to come back to California.
Yeah, California definitely has the magnetic pull for me, but I did just go back with my mom to Florida, and let me tell you what, that's a little bit of a challenge, getting a 92-year-old settled on an airplane with stops, but we did it, and just seeing all the friendly people, because I don't know what has happened to San Francisco. It's just not as friendly as it used to be, and it hurts my soul.
Yeah, well, I think it's become so genderized with this second boom of young Google workers or Apple workers or this, that, and the other thing. The techies that have raised the prices are outrageous. To rent a place in the Bay Area, Northern Bay Area, Northern California, it's unbelievable. It's sickening. And
exactly.
We're having a little rent control thing going on in Alameda, which is a small island off of Oakland, directly across the bay, which gets, where the people are going to go, so they go first to Oakland, Alameda, all over the Bay Area. It's become crazy. You can't afford to live here. The working person is still the working poor, the way I see things to be.
I want to know who's going to be pouring your beers and serving your coffees if there are no more worker bees to do it. It will be interesting.
It will be interesting, and we can tell our grandkids that we were there when before the revolution.
Exactly.
Because
oh my gosh,
there has to be a revolution of the working middle class. Now you're a bartender. You do comedy. You do podcast radio. You see the world. You have an idea of what's going on. Do you see a discontent with what's going on? And what do you think about Bernie and his chances? And do you think he's the one that can save us?
I'm hoping. If anybody I could put my backing behind, it would be good old Bernie. He's been there. He's been in the trenches, and he's speaking for us. Nobody else is speaking for us. They're speaking to us and at us, and this. It's finally lovely to have somebody that gets our plight. Because without the middle class, nothing's going to get done anymore. We're the ones paying for everything, for God's sakes. And I really do. At the bar I work at is very blue collar, but a nice cross section of a little bit of everybody. It's getting grumbly. People are grumbling. It's not good, and it is time for change. So we can only hope.
Yes, let's do indeed hope. What would you hope for? In other words, specifically, what would you like to see happen in this country that isn't happening now, specifically?
Well, of course, education. Absolutely. I'm thinking about, telling people I'm 17 and moving to Germany so I can go to college. That would be nice. Would have loved that, that opportunity without working so hard. I've worked always, ever since I can remember. So that would be wonderful. And I am one of those idiots that had my own health care through Blue Shield and don't get anything for free. Not one damn thing. It's still taken out of my my bright and shiny little checking account. So
there's a co-payment if, God forbid, you need it.
Oh, God, yeah. I really don't get anything for free, and it just keeps going up every year, of course, and then I still absolutely have to pay per visit.
We're talking
kind of crazy.
And we're talking education, and we're talking medical care, and that's with Obamacare, by the way. All right. So those are two of the things that I think Bernie would make a difference in.
Most definitely.
I'm sure that we will come to the point where we will feed all of the poor and hungry, the kids of the poor and hungry. I'm sure there will never come a time where you see kids living in automobiles again because their families are dispossessed for one reason or another, and the families don't have to be the bad people in today's day and age to be dispossessed for whatever reason. It could be
exactly
loss of job. It could be landlords raising the prices. Talk about the prices going up in San Francisco. What you rented your house, your apartment for, your flat. No, you're not flat. You rent.
I hope not.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that because this is radio. People
exactly.
Okay. You rented a flat a long time ago.
Yes.
Compare that to the rents now and compare that to your increase in wage over the same period of time.
Let me tell you, if I leave the apartment that I live in, and I've lived in this building since 1989, and I know that landlord would like me dead, there is no way I could ever come back here. And that is really sad because I've left such a huge portion of my life here, and I've worked hard. And, God, I love San Francisco. It's such a huge part of me. But the fact that we're kind of telling people, well, screw you. And as a matter of fact, before I talked to you today, I got a phone call regarding Proposition, I think it's F, and the woman was, okay, right now, if you were to vote, and, it was, I work at night, so I'm a little tired, like, okay, what now? And she goes on to explain that San Francisco has raised for short-term rentals and all, this kind of thing, the taxes and whatnot.
Right.
But then as she finishes her statement, she tells me that this is brought to you by Airbnb. So everybody's just wanting that piece of the pie, and they're picking the bones of San Francisco clean, and we are all left out to dry. So such a shame.
It is. Hey, Mayor, I know your time is limited. I want you to tell me about two things. I want you to tell me about your showcase for comedians that you have going on at the bar you work at, and I want you to talk about your podcast show that you have going on with Spec in San Francisco.
My pleasure. It's still in a horrible part of the city, so if anything is still affordable, I'm thinking down off of Folsom, you can still find, your little crack den. So you've got that going for you.
Well, he's a good manager. Besides that, he's a good manager, isn't he?
Oh, the powers that be?
The neighborhood.
Oh, the neighborhood, absolutely. It's very, in the daytime, you got a good cross-section of everybody. At night, it's probably time to pack it up and head back from whence you came. But
tell me about the show that itself, that the theme of
we do Godfrey's Pub Crawl, and it basically is the same crap that people in a bar talk about. Different people come by and visit. Love to have you by, and we talk a lot of crap, and we drink. We drink on air because you can do that when it's
FCC free.
Exactly, and we've had Pat the Bat Burrell on. We've had Mr. Tom Sawyer, soon to be one of your guests, and
you too.
We've had all sorts of great people, really fun. Mr. Bob Rubin, comedian extraordinaire, who's coming to the city.
That was a great show. I listened to that one. That was beautiful. Great.
Oh, God bless you. Rubin is, in my opinion, godlike.
Yeah, well.
The guy is great, and he's still performing and still as fresh. New comics, give you the put-um-bump joke. Rube takes you on a journey, and if you're prepared, you will have the best journey of your life, and you're not going to be able to stop laughing. It's a great ab workout, too.
It's as funny as anyone who's come out of San Francisco.
Absolutely. Oh, God, yes.
And in not just in his own way, I can almost say that unequivocally, and I'm not forgetting a lot of the folks who have come out of San Francisco, because he combines a certain stage presence with something to say, really something to think about in a Carlin-esque manner at times. And
you can tell the guy really is brilliant. His, oh my gosh, his references, his brain is going 1,000 miles an hour, and yet it all makes sense. When you leave there, you have just, it's like a huge whirlwind of just fun, smarts, information. Everything is coming at you at breakneck speed. So we were.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it was just such a pleasure to have the guy on, and we're trying to get him on again. I wish I could go to his Wednesday performance. I think Larry Bubbles Brown will also be there. Always amazing.
Right.
Another San Franciscan.
Brown. Did you know that he is a what's the word? He's a Rain Man. Did you know that?
Really?
Yes, he will remember dates, times and dates. I met him a couple of weeks ago. Met up with him again after 25 years of not seeing him, and it was at the Throckmorton, and we're standing outside. I said, "You remember me, Larry?" He goes, "Oh, I remember working with you March 2nd, 1990, I said, what?
Holy
He
moly.
says, yeah, we worked up in Eureka. I said, I remember working with you in Eureka one time. He says, oh, yeah, that was the day I went up there with you, with someone else. I drove up with someone else. He told me who it was. You went up separately. We met up there. We had 2 or 3 shows and 2 or 3 nights. I saw such and such movie. The weather was such and such.
Moly.
He's a fucking Rain Man.
My gosh.
I was blown away. I said, you remember that, Bubbles? He says, you remember all of that? I said, how's the movie? He goes, not bad. I mean, it was almost like it was almost like I'm living in this punchline. Not bad. He walks away.
My gosh.
I'm
going to play blackjack with that guy.
I can't remember the name of the movie, and this was 3 weeks ago. Went to see Doug Ferrari, and he remembered the name of the movie and the day. The weekend day we went up there, March 2nd, I think he said.
Oh my God!
Freaking believable, yeah. So I've always said that comedians are among the most interesting people. They're sociologists, they're thinkers. It's nice to be around comedians. And you run not an open mic, but a showcase for comedians in the Bay Area that are
absolutely
coming up, and you have people coming back to see you. Tell me about when it is and where it is.
It is once a month. We like to keep it fresh, and so it's every second Saturday of the month. We just absolutely, if you want to bring music, bring music. I've had a dog act. I've had, you name it. We've had it. Mostly we get the comics.
A dog act in San Francisco can mean a lot of things to a lot of people.
That is true. But it was so well worth it. Amazing, let me tell you. We've had it all. We've had some awesome music acts. Locally, there are so many talents out there and not enough venues. So, thankfully we can put this on at Ray's Hearth. Out there on Geary and 11th Avenue in the Inner Rich, or Inrich as I like to call it. Right, and we've been doing it for 5 years now.
Beautiful. And that's what led me to podcasting. That's a long story, and we'll save that for another show because you're going to be back, I hope.
Oh, I would love to be. Ask me anytime. Are you kidding? Nobody can get me to shut up.
Well, that's true, but
thanks for that.
No one wants to get you to shut up.
Oh, well, bless you. Probably ask some people that I've kicked out of the bar, and they might give you a different answer.
Now, you're not the traditional bar. You go into a bar, you're expecting just nicety, nice. No matter what, you could just take a dump right on the bartender go, oh, very nice. Wipe that off for you, sir, ma'am.
Not on my watch, Pally. Don't even think of taking a dump on my bar.
I don't mean literally, I guess proverbially. But I guess proverbially, but again, we're San Francisco.
Exactly.
Hey, where anything can happen and off times does.
Yes,
but
I have seen things.
Give me some examples of your interactions with folks at your bar before I let you go and take care of your mom.
Well, I will tell you, every time I say out loud, I've seen it all. Nope, something will happen, usually 5 minutes after I've said that, to make me shake my head. I worked in a nightclub that was one of the first singles bars in San Francisco called Pier Street Annex. I have seen people, drunken frat rats relieve themselves in a corner, I guess not knowing where they were anymore. I've seen many, many things, usually involving body fluids, and it's not pretty. I've probably yelled more, laughed more. It's a weird thing to do for a living. Right. But it can be absolutely rewarding. People that I've known, that I met 25 years ago, are still my friends, and I'm really blessed. I will say, though, as a bartender, if that is your career, make sure you take a vacation at least once a year. At least. If you wait longer than that, you will want to kill everyone in your sight, whether they need it or not. So that is my advice.
Would you, aside that, would you tell a young bartender to get into the profession? And because some people look at it in the comedy world as a day job, I'm sure, or may have started out as a day job for you on one level or another while you were going to school or whatever. But overall, it hasn't been a bad trip, has it? You tell a young person to get into it.
Well,
would you?
If it's for the right reasons. If you want to be the best that you can be, whatever it is you do, then you should get into what makes you happy. But if you're just there to mark time, I did it first to pay the bills. But for me, because I've always been into acting and being on stage, you do have a stage. You have these people paying attention to you, and you can make your shift whatever it is. And as Sainted Mother Godfrey says, water seeks its own level. So you will get regulars that you will become great friends with because they get you, you get them. You're going to have to deal with riffraff because that's sadly the nature of alcohol, that not everyone can handle it. But I've had young people, that looks like fun. I want to do that. That's not seeing the big picture because you're going to have to clean things you never thought you would. If it's your own child, sure, by all means, clean up the throw up. But when it's a grown-up human being sitting at your bar and you're cleaning these things, you ask yourself, why didn't I graduate from college? Because time has a way of getting through your fingers. And I thought I'd go back to school, and I didn't. But it's also afforded me these opportunities of having a comedy show and having people come in.
You live and the freedom to work the hours that you really want to work and to have daytime in San Francisco and to ride your bike. You got a good life going, Mare.
I'm doing my very best. Taking care of my 92-year-old mom can present different kinds of problems, especially, not getting too much sleep might make me more grumpy than I would care to admit. But I'm trying to stay positive, and, the laughter I get at the bar really fills my soul. So I'm very blessed to be working where I work, to know the people that I know.
And you know what thought made me think of you a couple of weeks ago? You were voted the funniest bartender in San Francisco. What?
Actually, the Bay Area, but who's counting? That's right.
That's the entire Bay Area, all 9 Bay Area counties, ladies and gentlemen. Please accept my apology.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, I only won it 4 times, and now they call it the Godfrey. But, hey, seriously, pay no attention. It's all I've got.
Tell me about the award. It was the whole frickin' Bay Area. And,
it was through the San Francisco, not the Weekly, the Guardian. And God bless the Guardian that they have these things, because if you look at this city, I do believe we have more bars in, the square blocks than any place on earth. So if you get kicked out of one, don't try to get back in. Just go to the next one. Please. I'm begging. I've always told people that. This isn't the only bar here. Why do you have to get back at the one where people don't like you?
Right, especially the bartenders who could put anything in that drink that she damn well
Exactly. Please. I'm not saying I would, but it could happen.
Had the opportunity. So you're the last person to piss off and want service from at the same time. People aren't that bright. But just remember, too, that for every bar in San Francisco, there has to be a church. How many churches are there in San Francisco?
Well, you do know, though, dear one, that when a town dies, the last 2 things to leave are bars and churches. So we're getting ready for the zombie apocalypse by how many bars and churches we have here.
That's a good
And the zombies come by in their giant buses that take up valuable parking places to deliver them to Google and all their evil entities. So yes, it's
And
but I will tell you,
life, too. They're sitting in a cubicle at Google, looking into a computer for 10 hours a day, and they think.
And here's the evil. The evil of it is they don't want you to leave. So they build you everything. You can take your pets to work. You can take your kids to work. You can, whatever it is that's a creature comfort, they have dry cleaning at these places because they don't want you to leave. That is the definition of hell, my friend. Absolutely. I don't care how much you get paid. At the end of the day, no one has ever said on their deathbed, I should have worked more.
Right. And, if you grew up like I did in the 50s listening to Tennessee Ernie Ford, how he owes his soul to the company.
Exactly.
And
well, that's why they're bringing up the prices of where we stay and the food. And now I'm noticing that people aren't filling up the expensive restaurants as much. Who doesn't love a lovely meal? But you really do have to stay at these places.
Even the really, really high-tech yuppies, they have to get tired of the lifestyle of going out pretty soon they're living home, eating frozen dinners like the rest of us. I mean,
exactly.
And paying the $3,000 a month rent for a one-bedroom or a studio apartment with a view of a wall.
Yeah, who's living the life now? I'd rather have my goofball life than
absolutely
have to think.
That's what I love about you. You're a fellow maverick. So, go take care of Mother Godfrey. I love you, dear. I'm going to end the segment by imploring you and everyone out there to keep your dreams wet, your humor dry, your kids out of military recruiting stations, and also collapse of clerics wearing dresses.
Zig, you are a doll, and this has been such a pleasure.
Oh, we've been through it, Mara. It's nice to come full circle.
Abso-freaking-lutely. And you may quote me. Love you too, honey. Bye-bye.